On today's video, we are talking about the sad truth of working. So we constantly do a lot of research to do our topics or to make our videos. I can say James do a lot of research, but sometimes I do some research. And something that we constantly see is people talking about the sad part of having a job, or people being depressed having a job, or different things that have to be with having a job and being about things nowadays. So we decided to make a video and we wrote some points down that we want to discuss. And I think, and for me, I'm gonna talk for me and then Jen probably can say what he think about that. But for me, having a job or work used to mean something else. And probably that goes that everything is so different now. Like everything is so different with the world. That probably job is not the exception. So that have changed. And having a job used to be something, it was like your second home. When you had a job, you spend the same amount or sometimes even more time at your job that you used to have with your family or at home. So before, people used to be like be part of a family, like be part of something. Like you was working together with people that you used to see all the time. There was like family, that they treat you like a family, but it's not like that anymore. And it's that, I think there is one of the things they have to do with people pretty much hate to have a job. I know that word is hard, but I think that's one of the things that make people don't like to have a job today's days. What do you think about that?
I agree. Like you said, I do a lot of YouTube watching. I don't know if I want to call it research, but I do watch a lot of YouTube, and I see a common theme of people saying they don't want to work a 9 to 5. Why 9 to 5 sucks, or I don't want to work anymore. You just get these common themes that you see nowadays, that people have just lost interest. I don't know if it's working in general, because I hope it's not working in general, because the only way you're going to earn money is through activity and it's working. So I think when they say work, I'm assuming they're referring to the corporate structure or the corporate environment. And as she said, nowadays the thought of going to work and the thought of having a job is different than it was back in the day. Back in the day, having a job was dignity in having a job. It was a dignity in a lot of work you did back then. Nowadays, it doesn't seem like, well, to me, I still think it's dignity in work, but in having some of these jobs, it just doesn't seem like it's in, no people don't have any dignity anymore in doing these jobs. So as we were discussing this, we came up with some things that, crossed our mind, because her and I both, we worked in corporate America before, and we know how the corporate structure is set up. I worked in human resources for 15 years, so with a company that had over 3,000 employees, and then at sometimes had 6,000 when you count temporary employees. So I didn't work for a small company. I worked for a huge company, so I understand how corporate America works.
Yes, and then going to the first point that I think is go very well with what we just said. It is corporate America, profit over people. Having a job before used to mean like, okay, you work for a company that pretty much care about you. Do you have a job? You take care of your family. As long as you did your job and you went to show up to your job, you do what you have to do, you have a job. For as long as you want it, pretty much. But nowadays it's different. It is whatever you can do for the company and for the time that we need. Whenever we don't need you anymore, bye-bye. We don't even think about if you have a family, if you have your mom is sick, your grandmama needs some medicine. They don't care about this stuff. Whatever you can do for our company, when you are you can do nothing for us, or we need to call some people, we're gonna let you go.
Like you said, nowadays it has become profit over people, and I understand to a certain extent that companies are in business to make a profit. So it is only right that they focus on making profits, but a lot of times it comes at the expense of the employee. And like you said, it's the Janet Jackson effect. It's like, what have you done for me lately? That's the way corporate America works, is what have you done for me lately? And it used to be a time where when you work for a company, they knew your kids, they knew your husband or wife, they knew a lot about you. And nowadays, they're not even a lot of the companies don't even care about your family and things like that. Like she said, I've seen times where employees' family members has died, mom, dad, grandma, and the company will fire them for not coming to work on a specific day or on their scheduled day. So it has just come to the point where it's more about profit rather than the people. And I think what happens in that case, people start to feel like they're just a number.
And that's why people don't care about companies anymore either. That's why they will come to work if they have to. Whenever they are able to act like they're working and they do not, they do the same thing, because it is something that everybody pretty much know nowadays, that you are a number, and whenever they don't need you anymore, they're gonna get rid of you. Why you should have love for a company that you know that they're using you for the time they need you. You work what you have to do, and if people don't do no more. Whatever you pay me for to do, I will do that, and whatever, I don't have to do any extra, just because it's the same thing, it's the same effect.
Right. Yeah. And I remember when I left the job in Fort Lauderdale, and I was telling you about this. They want you to put in a 2 weeks notice, and I put in a 7-day notice because, I got a job remotely, and I needed to go ahead and start. So, and I wasn't going to put them off. They wanted me to start actually that day that they hired me, and I told them no, I need 7 days, at least 7 days. So I gave my company a 7-day notice, and the boss, the guy, the owner of the company, he didn't even speak to me those whole 7 days because they felt that I didn't give them a 2 weeks notice. And it's like, well, if you would have fired me, you wouldn't have gave me any notice. You just would have came in there and said, hey, today is your last day. So they expect things out of you that they don't want you to expect out of them.
So yes, that is what it is with the corporate jobs. So going to the next one is soul sucking. And I'm gonna let you go first with that one.
So soul sucking, meaning that the work you're doing is uninterested and uninteresting.
And most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah. That a lot of the work, especially when you're working in places in some of these manufacturing and distribution facilities, a lot of it is just repetitive motions. I remember, like say, we used to work in a manufacturing distribution facility, and man, when I used to walk out on the floor and just see people do the same thing over and over and over again, I applauded them, because it was just something, especially to do it for 12 hours standing on your feet. It was just something that I'm not gonna say that I couldn't do it, because of course I do whatever I need to do, but it's definitely something that I don't wish to do. You know what I'm saying?
So yes, I remember those times too, because I did it. I did it when I got there. And yes, I mean, thinking about that, when I was working, I am very grateful to have that job, because that was something that I signed up for, I was looking for. But at the same time, after you do it for so long, then you start thinking, well, what am I doing? It's just doing the same thing. It's like nothing that, how would you say, fulfill you? Like, it's not something that you're looking forward to do. It's just something that you're just standing up over there, just closing CD, you're standing up over there, you fall asleep, just do something. It's not something, I don't know, it's just empty. Like the title says, soul sucking. Yeah, it's just
you said it's not fulfilling. Right, that's the word.
Yes, that is the word. It's no fulfillment.
You didn't say it because you couldn't say it. That's why you didn't say it. That word, well, I don't say you couldn't say it, it's just difficult for you to say.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's some words that are difficult for me to say, so sometimes I change it. But yeah, that is exactly what it is. It's the kind of job that is not giving you any
fulfillment. Fulfillment.
It don't give you any fulfillment.
Right.
Yeah, I might just leave it like that. Yes, and that is something that is just.
Yeah, people want to go to work and they want to be fulfilled and at least feel like they're contributing to something. And yeah, you can say, well, you're contributing when you're doing what you're doing, but it's not that type of contribution. You know what I'm saying? I mean, fulfilling to them is something different than fulfilling for the company. So I can understand that. You know, like I say, a lot of the work nowadays isn't fulfilling. You know, even when I was working in Fort Lauderdale, and I was doing actually working in Miami, but I was doing recruiting, and it wasn't fulfilling. You know, I get on the phone, I call people, hey, you want a job? Yes, okay, if yes, come in. No, all right, see you later. You know, they come in, they interview, same questions. You know, it's just, it was nothing about that job that was fulfilling to me. It just was all repetitive, redundant, and you know, actually, it was like I say, it was soul sucking. It was sucking everything out of me.
As a matter of fact, now I have, talking about that, yes, it is true. I can say this, me working in doing Instacart that I used to do with it, to me was more fulfilling than having a job in a company. You know why? Because every day I was doing something different. I was going over there, it was shopping, of course, it was doing grocery shopping, but you will do, or something will come on different every day, like with somebody did this, or you got a call, or you did, it was something, and then plus the freedom that you have when you're doing things on your own. So I guess that between combined together, doing different things every day, moving around different areas, and then that you have you working in your own time, that probably give you more, like you feel a little bit better.
Yeah, and I would say I don't know how fulfilling Instacart is versus, you know, any other repetitive job, but I think also you said one thing, even if it wasn't fulfilling, you had the freedom, and so having that freedom was, you know, a little bit better than you doing something that's unfulfilling, and then you don't have the freedom. You know, you got to be there 8 to 10 hours or 12 hours, however long you work. You know, that just sucks your soul, man. Yeah.
Yes, and another one is payment is not rewarding as it used to be. And with that we mean, you know, you used to have one job before, and you used to take care of the business that you have to take care of. If you have your family, if you have to go to college, or different things that you have to do. One job, it used to be enough to do all that. Nowadays, you need to have 2, 3 jobs to be able to do the same things that you used to do before.
Yeah. Back in the day, minimum wage took care of the whole family. Family of 3, family of 4. Nowadays, minimum wage can barely take care of you, let alone a family of even 2, or a family of 3 and a family of 4. So it almost goes back to not being fulfilling and soul sucking, because you're there working knowing that these wages, you know, the work that I'm doing, I already don't like doing it, I already don't want to do it, but I also know that the amount of the wages and the payment and the paycheck, it's not going to be enough to take care of all the responsibilities that I have to take care of, and I'm talking about necessities, not anything over your necessities. So, as everybody knows, inflation has rose and has grown way higher than wages has increased. You know, inflation has increased, you know, 100 times more than, and I'm being a little facetious, but not too far off. It's grown rapidly versus what the wages have over the years.
Or when you are working in something that you already don't like doing, but you at the same time ready to finish that job because you have to go to another one.
Right. Yeah. Because even if I was doing work that I didn't like and it wasn't fulfilling, but I knew on that Friday I'm gonna get that big paycheck and I'm gonna be able to wipe out all them bills and I'm gonna have a little extra to go do what, you know, go do a little shopping or do whatever I want. Yeah, maybe I hang in. You know, maybe I can hang in there. But nowadays, you know, you just can't do it. The cost of living in a lot of these, especially major metropolitan cities, is just too expensive.
Yeah, it is too expensive, and whatever you do is not enough for the entire family. Nowadays, I remember it was time when the men used to work and take care of the family, like you said, was minimum wage, and you have a family, probably was your wife, and then you have a child, and then things like that. But nowadays, not even have working the mom and the dad is enough, and then one of them have to have 2 jobs just to be able to take care of all the things in the house.
Right. I mean, you're looking at, when you think about 50 grand, which, you know, 10, 15 years ago was really good. And you talking about 50 grand now after you pay taxes, you know, you pay 10,000 taxes, you know, you around about, you know, 40,000, and your rent is 30,000 a year. You know, you're paying 2,000, 2,500 a year. I mean, you left with about what's that left with? You left with about $10,000? Mm-hmm. No, you left with about $10,000, and then you multiply that. You divide that by 12. I mean, that's no money.
Mm-hmm. Ain't no money left.
And you're making all that, and you're making not all that, but you're making that money working 40 plus hours a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not rewarding anymore. Mm-hmm. So going to the next point, it is bad bosses. And I'm gonna let you go with that one. Were you a bad boss?
Nah, man, I was a good boss. Okay. Yeah, you made a lot of money.
I'm not. He wasn't a bad boss, but he was a hard boss. I mean, for the most part, he was very nice. But when he got mad, the thing wasn't done. Oh my God, everybody had to listen.
Right, and I didn't cut you in the slack because you work with me.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I would have said, yeah, he wasn't the nicest boss in the world. No, he wasn't. He was a good boss, but also he gave us a lot of freedom. We used to have a lot of freedom in the office, but when some things came how it was supposed to, then we got in trouble.
Right. Yeah, you're right. And I think bad bosses it just compounds that, because you don't really necessarily have to have a bad boss. These people choose to be that way. I never wanted to be the type of person that, I'm not a micromanager, so I don't micromanage. I believe in setting expectations, and when I set the expectations, I expect those from the people who are my subordinates. I expect them to meet those expectations, and if you don't, then we have to have a conversation. Yeah, and I never wanted to be a bad boss, because my boss, the guy that was my director, you know, he always treated me with a lot of respect. I never have anything bad to say about anything he did. He always treated me with the utmost respect. So I felt that by me being treated the same way, I should treat, you know, people that work for me, similar.
And yes, I agree with that, what you just said, because you do receive the same thing that you give. And when you have a good boss, you gonna treat your employee the same way, because we all know, somebody they hate their bosses. They be talking about how bad they are, how they be mistreating the workers, how they probably be racist. I mean, racist can be one, but also mistreating and what is another word?
Favoritism is
favoritism. A lot of things that you don't feel comfortable with your boss.
One thing that working in corporate America and being in human resources, a lot of times I see a lot of people who are, they're power hungry. They just want to exert power, and so they mistreat people, and they think that's the way to get people to do what you want them to do, and that's not the way you get people to do what you want to do. Like we say in the South, you get more bees with honey than vinegar. So,
going to the next one, it is constantly worrying about losing your job, and I think that a lot of people is under that pressure that you have always feel like if you do anything, you will lose your job. Because of the same thing that we say, companies don't love you anymore. It is whatever you're there for the time being. Sometimes they hire you if they already know they need you for a month or two, if they're gonna get rid of you. So people usually that causes a lot of stress. That's why people be always stressful. Or if I lose my job, I won't have no money to feed my family, or I will have money to do whatever thing that you need to do, or take care of myself, because some people just take care of themselves, but they can't even do that if they lose their job.
Yeah.
Their job, I'm sorry.
Yep, that's just a reality now for employees, that they never know when they may lose their job because of the number one reason we started with is this profit over people. And once your job is no longer needed, you can even be doing a good job, but if the company starts to lose profit and they find a way that they can cut. Most businesses, when it's time to cut and cut back, the first thing they cut is labor. That's where they start looking at labor first before they look at anywhere else. they start looking at labor. Where can we get rid of people? So that is a reality that a lot of people face today going into work that they never know when it could be their last day.
Mm-hmm. That is something that cause, like I said, cause a lot of stress. If people be, they sometimes they don't know what to do. Sometimes they be in a job, if they looking for another one while they working.
Yeah, I don't know if it ever happened here. I'll just be real brief, but there have been several times in the U.S. where employees will, they'll work one day, then they'll go the next day, and the company have chains on the door. It's like, you ain't coming in. You know what I'm saying? And that has happened several times. So yeah, it's a reality, but it's a sad reality.
Mm-hmm. It's a reality. And the last one, and I think the one that is most important, it is that having a job, you will never get rich. And that is another very sad truth about working for somebody else.
Right.
Because working for somebody else is not the same.
Right. And I would say that has a lot of truth to it, because I know some people are going to say that you can get rich working a job, and you can, depending on how you manage your money. But let's be honest, most people are not going to get rich working a job. So, because you can put money in your 401k over,
that's what I was to say.
Over time, over 20, 30 years, and you can retire and have money. I don't know if, we'll consider it rich, but it depends on, but let's be honest, that most people are not going to do that. So when we're making this particular point is that for the majority of the people working a 9 to 5, they won't get rich.
Yeah, no, it's depending on the person. Sometimes depending on the kind of job you have, if you will have a job they have like 6 figures or something like that, you probably can get rich at some point. Or people that do their job, if they have some extra money that they can invest, they put in the 401k and then do a lot of other little investment. You probably work and say, okay, I work, but I do other things. Then probably you can get rich. But just working and then living to paycheck, you will never get rich because you're using that money just to live,
to survive. Right. And as the old saying goes, the entrepreneur gets all the profits and the employee gets the survival wage.
I think that that's the rule of the game. If you choose to be a worker, that's what you're gonna get. If you choose to have a business, be a boss, then you get the profit. But sometimes you also get the bad rap, because when you lose a lot of money being a boss, that's another thing.
Yeah, it's risky. You're taking a risk.
It's risky. Yeah, you're taking a risk. Mm-hmm. So those are the points that we have. So James, do you have something to say before I end this video?
I was thinking if I had something to kind of end it with, because I want people to think that, we made a video saying the sad truth about working, so we are encouraging or insinuating that people shouldn't work, because they should. I think, like I said, I still believe there's dignity in work, and there should be dignity in work. Mm-hmm. But for those out there that's looking to do more than just be an employee, sometimes you just gotta take that risk and make that first step. If it's something you want to do in terms of owning your own business, or just getting out there on your own, you can make that a possibility. And I do understand that everybody is not going to be able to be a boss, because everybody's not cut out for it. Someone has to be the employee. When I pull up in the drive-through at the McDonald's, I need somebody there taking my order. You know what I'm saying? When I go to the mall and I need to try on my clothes, I need somebody there to open the dressing room door for me. So I do understand that everybody can't be bosses, but for those who feel like what they're doing is unfulfilling, and they have something in their mind, not their mind, but in their heart that they want to do, I just say go ahead and pursue it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, no, by any moment we mean like, don't worry, leave your job, because how can you do that? Everybody needs money. Well, I don't know if everybody, but most people need money to do whatever they take care.
I need money.
Yeah, I need money too. So, you have to work. In a certain way, you have to work, either working for somebody else, having a job, creating your own opportunity, different ways to make money, but everybody need to work. And that is not what we mean. But what we mean is every time that we do research, we nowadays, you didn't used to see that before or hear people talking like this.
Right.
People always was looking for a job. Oh, I want me a job. Oh, I want another job. Like people was looking because they wanted to work.
Right.
Now they say, oh my, you have experience doing that because people don't even want to work now. When you call people for the company that you do recruiting, you can even find people to work because people feeling this way. That's what we're trying just to make the point. The people are feeling like it's not worth it to work anymore. I don't want to work. I do want money, but I don't want to work.
Yeah, it's a culture shift now.
Yeah, it's something that is just, and we just thought that this probably some of the points why people feel that way.
Right. Yeah. And hey, we just present the problem. I don't know the solution.
I'm not. We shouldn't have the solution too?
No, I don't know. We just present the problem. I don't know the solution.
Talking about the problem, the solution, we don't know. Yeah. We probably one day will come up with the solution, but right now we just have the problem. So guys, this is what we have right now, and that's the problem we think about the sad part. About the sad truth about working. So guys, I know that you also have some points that probably you want to share with us about the sad truth about having a job or working. So if that's the case, just leave your comment down below here in this video, and this is what we have right now. So we will see you in our next video. Bye.
Peace.